everyone, and welcome to the Contiengecy Plan Podcast. My name is Jedi Master David, and with me, as always, is Darth Austin.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, welcome to we've been kind of sick this past week and have been on a low motivation kind of attitude.
Low motivation podcast.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how much we don't want to do everything today.
Well, I mean, podcasting is fine, but yeah, no, well, let's just pop into Jedi Council. By the way, we are a reread podcast. This is going to be the second chapter of Dark Tide 1 Onslaught. No chapter names, unfortunately, for this book.
We could make our own chapter names.
Really dropped the ball, Michael A. Stackpool.
Let's make our own. Not today, because it's low motivation, but let's make our own names.
Well, this chapter would be entitled Training Day.
Yeah.
So, without Denzel. Oh, man. So, yeah, let's pop into Jedi Council real quick. It has been kind of a not so great prior week. Obviously, we record these on Sunday, drop them on Monday. I had a weird thing with my eye. Like, you have that soft layer of tissue around your eyelid. Well, sometimes if that gets like clogged, it puts pressure on your eye. And it was just completely messing me up all week. I felt like I had like a sinus headache like constantly.
I bet.
I finally figured out, and it's like, what can you do about it?
Wait.
Put a hot compress on it and wait. It'll be good. So no, I feel fine, but like I was up kind of late last night and had a few little activities going on throughout the day. One of them was kind of a hybrid baby shower for a good friend of mine, him and his wife having their second baby, and you can hear them on the Unexpected Podcast Talking Tolkien if you enjoy Lord of the Rings content, and their newer podcast, Further Up, Looking for Lewis, which is Chronicles of Narnia podcast. Lane and Sarah are really good people, but yeah, we had that for them, which was interesting because generally a baby shower is women.
Right.
But this
guys have diaper parties.
Do they? I don't know that I've ever been to a male.
The friend group I have will all buy like a pack of diapers,
sounds
and
like
a ton of beer,
sounds
and
like
just
a
sit around
millennial
and
thing.
watch football.
Is that a millennial thing?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. No, but it was kind of that, and it was kind of like a podcast meetup in a way because some of the contributors from that podcast had come. It was a lot of fun. Then we went out and had food at a Mexican restaurant and paid way too much. Like we decided to have like a drink, not like a beer, but like something good. And the Mexican place we went to is let's just call it expensive. I don't want to call it upscale, but like I got fajitas. And it was like a legitimate chicken breast and a legitimate like steak and it was good. It didn't really feel like I should have paid that much, but I also got a mojito because I like mojitos, if I'm going to get like a, kind of like, do they consider that a cocktail? It's not really a cocktail, is it? I mean, you're doing stuff with rum.
Technically, I guess you could say it is, but not really.
Okay, well, anyway.
I don't know what you'd label that as.
Well, they got some weird, they had a bunch of weird margaritas, and I don't drink margaritas because tequila gives me a headache. So I just stay away from tequila, unless you're going to substitute tequila for rum, which I believe is another drink. But anyway, so I got a mojito, and it's like, this guy clearly has never made a mojito. Now there was an adequate amount of mint and lime, and it made me really want a 7-Up today. Yeah. So I kind of have a craving for like a 7-Up, which is really weird. But anyway, paid way too much for that. But I finally got home, and it's just kind of a late sort of deal. I knew I was doing stuff today, so I came home and I was trying to do laundry.
Trying.
I got through 2 loads of laundry and I fell asleep on the couch for a little bit, which is never a good idea. It always cranks my neck, but I finally got to sleep and, woke up and, worked out a bit and did a video for my YouTube channel and then came here.
What time did you wake up?
About 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, about 8 o'clock, which is, I mean...
That's about the time I woke up. I got a little bit done. We had to move some stuff around in the shop because people want to use it for cars while we're trying to fix boats. But that's
for
okay.
sure.
It's not like it's a boat repair shop or anything.
Yeah, really. No, I mean, normally I'm up at, 4:45 every morning for work, to get there by 6 for the 6 to 2:30 swing. So I'm normally up way before that anyway, so 8 is sleeping in anymore. But yeah, how was your week?
Oh, the week's been bleh. Some good things. Well, I did get a cold early on in the week. You mentioned allergies and some eye issues. I've just had straight up normal cold. So.
Well, yeah.
Man, got an interview Monday for a new job. So
very good.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I had a pretty late night too last night. I think I got home around 2:30. We went to one of the bigger malls in Ohio to watch Aquaman. They had a movie theater inside. That was pretty good. I'm not much of a DC fan.
Is this the second one?
No. They were replaying the old one, or just. Oh. Honestly, I couldn't tell you if it just came out or not because that's how little I follow DC movies. But I've been seeing previews for that for a long time, so it seems like it would have come out a long time ago.
Well, yeah, it has. I think they're doing another one now. I stopped.
Well, this was the origin.
Okay, yeah, so. I stopped following superhero movies. Like after maybe Age of Ultron?
Yeah, and they did show the trailer for the new Avengers.
Yeah, I heard
Iron Man's gonna
die.
No, he's in space. He's out of food and water.
Well, I mean, didn't half
half
of everybody die in the last one or whatever? Yeah, I don't care anymore.
Killed Spider-Man.
Fine. Although I have heard,
I kind of like the new Spider-Man.
I have heard that the new Spider-Man was pretty cool, and I have watched some gameplay on the new Spider-Man game. Oh. Have you watched gameplay on that? Yeah, I thought that looked really good. That was reminiscent of the one we used to play on PS2,
the best one.
Delivering pizzas and stuff like that.
Is it sad I had more fun doing that than half the stuff in like the new GTAs?
Well, I don't really care about GTA anymore, but there was a game. Was it last weekend you were out at my place? Or was it the week before?
No, it was last week.
Okay.
It was, I stayed Friday night and then we did some stuff
Saturday morning. That's right. So we went to we recorded and then we went to REI to look at some stuff there. Got more and more ideas, wound up buying a couple of freeze-dried rations and so forth, which I actually did a video on the lemon.
Did you?
What was it, the lemon chicken or the lime chicken or honey lime chicken?
Oh, was it honey? Okay.
Yeah, and if any of you even care about that sort of stuff, I have a YouTube channel. It's called Dave's 45 Auto. I just do a lot of ration tasting, and eventually I'll start getting some backpacking sort of stuff up on there as well. But it was interesting. There wasn't a lot of lime, and I wanted more lime.
Yeah, I don't really expect a lot of vibrant flavors from those. So,
but it was an interesting flavor. But anyway, after REI, we went to GameStop. Do you guys remember GameStop? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
For now, because they'll be gone soon.
You remember? Yeah,
I guarantee when they're closed. Or I should say the week before they close, when they have their going out business sale, will be like 5% off.
Yeah, I mean...
they ain't going to have any good sales.
Yeah, we used to have a local... Is that Gamescape still around here?
Yeah.
Anyway. So, or Game something. I don't know. It was Game Escape or Game...
Yeah, it's Gamescape.
Game Stop-ish Scape. I don't even care. But anyway, I remember going in there, and then when I moved... to the bigger city, I guess. Moved to the big city. I went to GameStop a couple of times, but I mean, to be honest with you, like, I don't know, game prices are expensive no matter how you look at it. And they only get more expensive because they get, quote, better.
And better, yeah.
And, but it has been a while since I really purchased it. There was one point I had their card that gets you like a percentage off.
I did too.
But it was like, I mean, you had to pay for it. So unless you were buying a ton of games, it didn't really pay for itself, which was the case, and I canceled mine.
That's the first time I've bought a game there since the original Red Dead Redemption came out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've bought a couple of like used games because sometimes they have used game deals. But so we both bought the new Spyro remastered or rebooted, reignited. And then I bought Madden.
How was Madden?
So I could
real
play
quick?
as Baker Mayfield. I always have this problem when I start a new Madden game. Okay, and because the last one I bought was 17, and this was 19. So I just wanted it. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. I just wanted it because Baker Mayfield and Nick Chubb. And anyway, I have this problem at the start of every Madden game. I throw a ton of interceptions until I figure it out, and then I can throw anything I want. But it's the strangest thing. It's like every time I start a Madden, I throw so many picks, and then eventually I figure it out, and then I don't throw picks anymore.
How do you like that hit stick?
Dude, I don't use any of the fancy stuff. I pretty much just use buttons and have fun with it, and I try and run the ball.
Well, I don't know how 18 was, or 19, excuse me. I don't know how 19 is, but with 18, the last one I bought, if you were on the higher difficulty settings, you were almost guaranteed to throw an interception. Yeah. Like on the highest setting, it was 50-50 or greater.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I don't really want to talk too much about Madden but Spyro. So, we grew up as the Spyro games were coming out and played a ton of it. It was like Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, and Jak and Daxter.
Yeah,
those were like
Sly
the three.
Cooper for me.
Yeah,
so much for
you did. I didn't really care about Sly.
One of the only stealth games I really cared about. I was never much of a stealth game person.
No. Well, I mean, my prop now, it doesn't
Again,
even matter.
Spyro.
They remastered that too for PS3,
yeah,
I think. And then I do have the remastered for Ratchet and Clank series. It was 1, 2, and 3, I think, and the remastered Jak and Daxter series for the PS3.
That's something I'd really like to get is the Jak and Daxter series because I never played the third one. Never did.
Yeah. I mean, we played a lot of 2.
Yeah.
2 was probably the big one for us. I mean, obviously we played 1, but 2 was the
more
one.
Open.
Yeah.
There was free roaming. You could ride vehicles. You had a little hoverboard. A lot of guns.
Yeah. No, that was a really cool game, and the aesthetic of it was really neat.
Yeah.
But Spyro. So obviously the old games were just a bunch of miscellaneous shapes, Yeah. This one, it was beautiful, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And it played the exact same.
It did. And I'm so glad they didn't change it.
I know, but
it's still kind of swimmy controls.
I wish they would just like put a feature in there to like put a modern camera angle on it, but still have the ability to go back and play the other camera angles
or zoom in and out.
Yeah,
freely would be nice.
Yeah. The zoom was like extreme zoom, and you can't move or back out. But it was cool.
The free look is terrible.
Oh yeah,
it's completely useless. But I wish they had done like the Halo Master Chief did, where if you hit the back button, you'd go back to the old graphics.
Oh god,
that would have been cool, just to see how far it come throughout.
See, I have back when you could do. I actually don't even know if you can do it anymore in the PlayStation store because I think they got rid of some of them. But there was a time years ago when they were selling a lot of PS1 digital games on
for
there.
Like $2.
Yeah, so I bought. I believe at least the first 2 Spyros and then Crash Bandicoot Racing.
Oh, do you remember that all the Spyros had a little feature where you hit? Yeah.
Yep.
You could go play the demo for a Crash game.
Yeah, and that was a really cool thing that they used to do. But yeah, I still have those on my PS3. So I've went back and played them. But yeah, the remaster was definitely well worth it. I wish I would have bought it when it first came out because it was cheaper though.
I know, wasn't it like 30? It ended up being about 10 a game.
Maybe something like that. But
so how far have you gotten with it?
I honestly haven't gotten super far. I'm still in the first game. I am too. Probably about halfway through, maybe.
Yeah, I've been kind of taking my time because I've been trying to 100% every world.
I tried that for a bit, and there's like 1 or 2 where I was like, I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a lot of issues finding anything, so I think I'm in I just jumped into the.
Well,
End of the Swamp World. I think I'm in the end of the Swamp
yeah.
World.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, listen, those games were for simple children.
Except for the flying.
A simple child.
The
The flying
bro.
levels. Oh,
Actually,
geez.
child's games back then were hard because I've died a lot. I've died so many freaking
Yeah, I
times.
kind of ran into a stretch there. A lot of it's the camera and the controls, but no, it's a lot of fun. I'm kind of looking forward to getting into the second game in the series.
Too. The third was okay, but the second one was just perfect.
I don't remember the third game at all.
I remember Was that when they introduced skating, or was that
was
the
second one? Yeah, we spent a lot of time on the skate levels.
It was actually a really good skating minigame.
Yeah, but
the third one was where they gave you all the different characters to play as.
Oh,
You had the kangaroo. You had the little penguin.
They didn't have that too?
No. That's
Really?
the third one. They had the penguin. Remember the penguin?
Oh, yeah. I love the penguin.
Yeah, that was my favorite one. Then they had the crazy monkey with a ray gun.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And
dang.
the Yeti with a club.
Yeti, yeah. Sheila the kangaroo.
Yeah. And then I think you had some hunter missions as well.
I think so. Yeah. Well, yeah, I kind of forgot about that. But no, I'm going to pick it.
Much.
Right. I'm going to pick it back up. I just, it's just one of those time-centric things.
Yeah, it's either that or Red Dead for me, and I've been slacking on that. So I'm going to finish at least the first game and maybe jump into the second one.
For sure. But we should probably cut Jedi Council a little short because I did see a comment somewhere out there that, 5 minutes and no Star Wars. I get it, but it's a podcast. We like to talk a little bit in the beginning and then get into Star Wars.
Maybe later on down the line when we get a little, I don't know, a little bit more of a following, we'll do an actual podcast like this. But
yeah, but the whole thing is,
right now
Jedi Council is, that's what I always kind of liked about certain podcasts was, kind of a little bit of the host banner and then they go into what we're talking about. So, and I always listen to podcasts at work, so I like to have a long podcast to tide me through. So anyway, let's go ahead and cut it off. How many minutes of non-Star Wars? Probably like 20. But anyway,
and then we'll be doing all banter for the news as well.
Well, for sure.
We don't really have news.
Well, there's not a ton of news, but I will tell you some news that you should be taking advantage of. And it's not really news at all. It's stuff you should be doing for this podcast. If you're listening to this on any platform, go ahead and make sure you give us a little review. And if it's not 5 stars, just take that stuff to YouTube. Only 5s. No, but leave us reviews on iTunes or wherever you're listening to this. We'd appreciate hearing from you. You can also hit us up on Facebook. Just Contingency Plan Podcast is out there. You can also find this in the show notes, down below, depending on where you're listening to it. But hit us up there. Send us any, whatever your Star Wars stories, how you got into Star Wars, or just comments on the podcast.
Still waiting for more Facebook messages, guys.
Yeah, there you go.
It's been 2 weeks since we've heard from someone.
Something like that. But yeah, we'll read your stuff on the podcast, and we have our Gmail address, TC Plan, TC. What is it again? I just kind of blanked.
tcplanpodcast@gmail.com.
There you go. Yeah, I'm normally on that. For some reason, I stumbled.
It had to be when I was taking a bite.
Yeah, you're eating these combos, man. You didn't get me any what is it? The hot wing and blue cheese ones. Those are the ones I like.
Oh, those are they're not
buffalo
mine.
And blue cheese.
Well, these aren't mine. I get the buffalo blue cheese.
Yeah, that and the little there's like a taco one or some. It's like a 7-layer dip.
Yeah,
I kind of like those.
They're okay.
Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into HoloNet. There wasn't really a ton of Star Wars news out there or anything we wanted to talk about, even if there was. So because of when we're recording this before the Super Bowl. So this will drop after the Super Bowl. So you can yell at us, wow, we already know. But I wanted to talk about the possibility of a trailer during the Super Bowl, what we could possibly see in the trailer, what we would want to see in the trailer, or if we even need to see a trailer. So the big thing is that traditionally we've gotten some sort of teaser during the Super Bowl. So question 1, Darth, do you think we'll get a trailer tonight?
Yes.
I don't think we will.
I hope we do.
Okay.
We need something.
Well, that's actually an interesting thing. So, do we need a trailer? You already said yes.
We need an explanation, not really a trailer, because you really can't explain.
Here's my thing.
I would be okay with a tweet.
I would
honestly.
release anything if I were Disney.
Who's the Darth?
Well, here's the thing. J.J. Abrams is a vindictive guy. And we kind of saw like some of the stuff like during the filming of episode 7.
Yeah.
If it were me, just because of all the backlash and everything that's happened after The Last Jedi and the bombing of I don't call it a bomb, but I mean, people
For
say it was
Star
bombing.
Wars, it was a bomb.
Just say nothing.
Maybe
nothing. And
no
then
one's mad at him.
No,
one's mad at JJ.
No, I'm just saying have nothing, and then in December when you drop the movie, you drop the movie. And everybody's guessing, and nobody knows what's going on. And then you just get what you get.
But I'd die inside a little bit by then. I'd die inside a little bit by July.
But, getting through the silly stuff, what I think that they should drop, because I don't think they're going to drop a trailer, but at least what they should do a short burst, Star Wars Episode 9. Give us the name. Just give us the name. That's all we... And then you drop the trailer at Celebration in April.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not going to be thrilled with a trailer because I'm sure it's just going to be a lot of useless banter about what we know is already going on, what needs to happen, all this.
Well, my issue with trailers is a lot of times they give away too much.
Oh, they do.
But like for the Solo teaser during the last Super Bowl, I was... When I saw that, my spirits kind of sank a bit because the teaser trailer for that was not good.
See, I don't even remember it.
Yeah, it just wasn't good. Now, when they came out with the full trailer, I was like, okay, I'm cool. This should be cool. But yeah, the teaser I didn't like. But all I think that they should do, just like the Miller High Life commercial from years ago, just that dude's with the sign High Life, just black screen. You just scroll in. Star Wars Episode 9, pause, give us the title, end it. No info, but there does have to be a trailer at Celebration because I'm going to be there, and if there isn't, we will all riot.
But I almost wish they wouldn't even give a name because that's just going to cause more speculation.
Good.
The wrong kind of speculation.
It'll get, yeah.
It's going to be so annoying. It's like you're not going to get any information about the movie based on the name.
Star Wars Episode 9, Mara's Revenge.
I'd probably have a heart attack. You'd be doing this alone if that...
Star Wars Episode 9, Darth Maul Returns.
Well, we already know that.
Star Wars Episode 9, Han Solo Lives. Star Wars Episode 9, Kylo Ren dies in the first 5 minutes.
Star Wars Episode 9, Mace Windu's back, mother.
Star Wars Episode 9.
I'm sorry, we can't say that.
No, Episode 9, Snoke. Just Snoke.
Yeah.
Oh my God! No!
He died.
Oh, whatever. So, yeah, no,
Or did his hologram die?
Or was he a figment of Kylo Ren's imagination and his force projection power?
Again, we have...
I think we talked about that already, didn't we?
We did. And
okay, good.
my biggest problem with this, and this is why I keep saying part 1, part 2, we have what, about 2.5 hours? Is that what a Star Wars movie averages nowadays?
Yeah.
We have 2.5 hours to explain so freaking much.
I'm gonna.
How long would it take to properly explain Kylo's mental breakdowns and Snoke being a figment of his imagination?
I get it, but I would put money on it. It will not be a 2-parter. I almost guarantee it will be one movie. It'll be 2.5 to 2 hours and 45 minutes long. It's going to be a long one, I think.
It worked with the Deathly Hallows.
Well, yeah, I mean, that could be debatable, but we're not on a Harry podcast. Go listen to Swish and Flick for that kind of stuff.
So many shameless plugs. How much money are we making on these plugs?
Absolutely zero monies.
Okay.
I mean, I wish there was money involved, but there is
Disney's taking care of us well enough.
Zero money involved in giving any shout out or we're not getting any return shout outs or anything like that either.
Is Disney okay with us referencing other movies and books?
Disney will have to live.
They okay with us mentioning Harry Potter and Narnia and all that good stuff? You sure about that?
Well, probably not, but you never know. They'll probably just wind up buying it. Buying Narnia, buying Tolkien. They bought Fox, buy Nintendo.
I hope they eventually remake the Narnia movies, but I want it in like 20 years from now.
I don't know if they need to.
That was actually modern enough that they really wouldn't have to.
Well, again, this isn't a Narnia podcast, so how about we pop into the reread? What do you think? You want to reread a book?
I'm ready to go eat lunch. We don't need to read.
We haven't even decided what we're going to do for lunch.
Not read the book.
Bantha
That's
milk.
what we're going to do.
We're going to go drink some bantha milk and eat some bantha meat. What do you think? Grilled.
Do you know how expensive that thing was? Can you imagine how much a steak from that would cost? That was like a $3 million bantha.
Get out of here.
Come on, mate.
Anyway, back into Dark Tide 1, Onslaught, Chapter 2. Relatively...
Training day.
Yeah, training day. No, that is good. We actually should. I don't think I'll put it in the description. People would probably get either annoyed or confused.
I guarantee.
That's not what it's called.
Well, what's it called then? Well, that doesn't matter. I guarantee we're going to find a way between these two books to sneak in there one of them called Blood Rush.
Well, it already happened, but you never know. They could say it again. So, again, sort of like what we've talked about, a lot of these chapters in this particular book are relatively short. So, and this one is really no exception.
It's one of the better ones. That's the sad part. Actually, I was looking ahead to, we'll have to do a double on the next episode or two. So,
well, I don't know. Chapter 3 isn't looking.
Actually, I'm sorry. It's
too
gonna be
short.
It's gonna be chapter 4 and 5. We'll probably have to.
Yeah,
match together.
just keep attuned to the Facebook, and before it drops, we'll probably let you guys know. But yeah, there are a lot of chapters that are really short. I think there were, what did we say?
36, 32, something like that.
Something in the 30s, which is ridiculous for this book. For the sizes, 30. It looks like 36, and then an epilogue. So. Why? I don't know. Well, this book had a prologue and an epilogue. Yeah, that was our first episode. Hey, they're not talking about Star Wars again. So anyway, Chapter 2. Snug in the X-Wing simulator's cockpit. Colonel Gavin Darklighter. Colonel Gavin Darklighter.
Still not as good as his astromech droid's name.
Darklighter. Oh, yeah. Rogue Squadron. Ooh, Rogue Squadron's commanding officer flicked his right thumb against the ring he wore on his hand. Apprehension gripped him, but he knew there was no sense in stalling a second longer. He glanced over his shoulder at the R2 Delta astromech droid sitting behind him. Okay, Ketch. Run the simulation designated Skip Chaser. Skip Chaser. I don't know. That sounds like a different sci-fi genre. So Colonel Gavin Darklighter, we have Rogue Squadron's commander here in a simulator.
With his little buddy Catch.
With Catch. They explain that name a little bit longer. Oh, let's see here. So, I mean, the big overarching thing here is they're starting a simulation to try and figure out how to deal with the Yuuzhan Vong. All right, so we've learned in previous chapters they're back.
Yep.
They attack the remnant of the Imperials, and then they destroyed the little what was that called? The Freelance? Yeah, the Freelance, the little ship that was like going in to screw around with the Imperials.
Pirates.
The pirates.
It's actually funny because I started to read this chapter and I got distracted and I jumped ahead by like one page.
Oh, jeez.
And so my first thought was, are they really showing the Yuuzhan Vong attacking another random ship? I mean, X-Wing, but still, it's like, do they have to do this 3 times?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so the little gold and white droid tooted pleasantly in the simulator. Cockpit came alive with lights and data scrolling on the primary screen. Despite the years of refits and the little droid had undergone in Gavin's service, including requisite memory wipes and programming upgrades, it always greeted him with a brief summary of the weather on Tatooine and Coruscant. Cute. So super cute. Gavin appreciated that little bit of pleasantry, which is why he'd not traded the droid in for a newer model, though the Delta upgrade had been most welcome for speeding up navigational computations.
I think he needs an L3 unit.
I don't think anybody needs an L3 unit.
Yes, he needs L3.
Yeah, okay. I don't need to talk. I just need the beep, a boop, boop, beeps. That's all I need.
You don't want sass?
Yeah, okay.
You don't need that L3 sass?
I'm good. Okay, so I think here we get into the story of Catch's name, because he like Luke, it's just R2.
Right.
And C-3PO or Goldenrod if you're Han. But, the astromech has a name. So
he's had 2 names.
That true. 2 names, a long name, and then he shortens it. The biggest change in his relationship with the droid had been its name. In the early days, he'd called it Jawa Swag.
How could you ever change the name Jawa Swag?
I feel like swag was a new term, but
It
then
was.
all of a sudden, Jawa Swag.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was the start of swag being what it is today.
Yeah, and of course, the reason why he called it Jawa Swag, because he's such a clever boy, that any Jawa would love to have the droid.
Gotta
Clever.
have that droid swag, man.
Yeah, apparently.
Rotini.
God, yeah, Rotini. Later, after the Thrawn crisis, oh my God, there's a Thrawn reference. A group of Jawas had tried to steal Jawa Swag. I can't say, I really hate that name. But the droid had, because every time I hear swag, I just see some douchey kid with like a flippy haircut and some stupid unbent ball cap with baggy pants and some stupid jacket.
Actually, when I read that, the only thing I imagine is the astromech droid and then the little digital sunglasses slowly going towards it.
I mean, he beeps out the weather and then he says, "You mad?
You mad, bro? Come at me."
Yeah, shut up, stupid Jawa Swag. Let's see. Well, when the Jawas tried to steal old Jawa Swag, the droid had fended them off and actually hurt one.
Probably shocked it.
Probably. From that point forward, Gavin had taken a calling droid Tough Catch, because you know what? Gavin Darklighter is just a naming convention on wheels, man.
But Tough Catch is too hard. I'm just call you
Tough Catch. Tough Catch. Yeah, so it just came to Catch. Good for you. Good for you, Darklighter. Oh, man. Oh, man. Do you think Gavin Darklighter has a flippy emo haircut? I feel like
he probably has a choker. He probably wears a choker.
My name is Gavin Darklighter. Sorry.
It get really weird and they start describing the texture of his skin. Like Jana's.
What's that?
I said we could get really weird with the book. Who knows? They might start describing the texture of his skin.
Oh,
like they did Jana's in the last one.
Hey, why not? So anyway, we do have the simulation popping up here.
Talk a little bit about X-Wings here.
Yeah, if you want to. You want to talk about them?
Oh, I'm just saying they do. I'm not saying I want to.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of...
We've had our day for talking about X-Wings. We had an all X-Wing podcast. It didn't end well. Neither of us know anything about it.
That's true. Well, I'll just read it. It felt much like the old T-65's Rogue Squadron used to fly when he'd first joined the Rebellion, but the T-65A3 model was a couple of generations advanced over the original models. While not as slick as the new XJ model, the A3 had improved shields and lasers and boosted improvements in accuracy and power.
Unlimited power.
Yeah. So it's not quite an XJ model, which is obviously the best model. But
it's the GT.
Okay. But it's like a step there, and it's got cool shields and power. Good job. Let's see. Gavin glanced I really don't like. Sorry,
You don't like the name Gavin, do you?
no, it's kind of like Connor, and I know that's probably going to upset people, but like, there was a time frame. They're not talking about Star Wars again. There was a time frame where, like, there were a lot of Gavins and a lot of Connors coming out, and Hunter as well.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily mind Hunter as much, but Gavin and Connor, I don't know, like,
I
they're
feel
just,
like you just knew some dickish Gavins.
no, not really. They were all kids. It's just it's a weird name. It's like when you add Lynn to anything.
Yeah.
You know, I bet we probably like lost our entire audience.
Are you trying to say
because they're a bunch of Gavins and Goners. Oh my God, a new name. Let's call our kid Goner.
Goner Lynn.
Goner Lynn.
Are you trying to in a roundabout way trying to say it's like trashy or
No, I just don't like the sound of it. It's like corduroy pants. I can't stand the feel of corduroy. I don't like the sound of Gavin or Connor.
In-depth Star Wars discussions here, people.
Hey man, in a galaxy far, far away, anything could happen.
This is why we don't record on Sundays.
Well, I should move on. I'm just gonna call him Darklighter from now on
because that's so much better than Gavin.
Darklighter. Oh, let's see here. Catch. Give me
Darklighter.
Biologicals down to the size of Minox and anything that appears to be moving erratically or on a course that is beyond norm for orbital debris. Oh, let's see here. We do introduce a new name here. Admiral Creefay. What do you think? Think that's a good one? Bothan?
Sure.
The Bothan Admiral?
Sure, it's
Admiral Creefay. Let's see. What is it I'm supposed to be seeing? So here's an important part. So Darklighter doesn't understand really why he's in the simulation.
Yeah.
He's not aware of even what the simulation is. He's just here because Admiral Creefay told him, go do the simulation. And basically he's not seeing anything either.
Right.
And that's kind of where he's, starting to. It's like what's going on, Creefay? You trying to pull some Bothan head tricks or something?
Is this a Jedi mind trick?
Well, I don't know about Creefay being a Jedi.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
But you know what? Darklighter had found Creefay to be remarkably straightforward in general, and very much more so when dealing with the rogues.
The Rogues. That's their new name. The Rogues.
Well,
we're starting our own band. It's called The Rogues.
Hey, why not? Beep, boop, boop, beep. The primary console beeped, and a small box appeared around a distant object in the X-Wing's heads-up display. Gavin selected the object as a target and glanced down at its profile and image on the secondary monitor. At a quick glance, it could have been mistaken for an asteroid.
I'm sorry, but real quick.
And dismissed easily.
Again, we're going to talk more about Star Wars here. Just for a second, the way you said secondary. It sounded like you said the second dairy monitor.
No, I'm definitely I'm still a little tired, so I'm reading kind of slow. I'm trying to read fast, but my brain's not catching up. So yeah, I kind of forced down the airy on that one.
That was great.
It's good. Second airy.
How many dairy monitors are on this X-Wing?
Well,
3,
you know
4.
what? People like hot chocolate, man, just like the Santa Claus. At a quick glance, it could have been mistaken as an asteroid and dismissed easily, but to Darklighter, I'm not saying his name, it looked far too symmetrical. It reminded him a great deal of a seed, a bit bulbous in the middle, but tapered at both ends.
A seed.
Nice bulbous seed out in space. Spreading seed. That's what the Yuuzhan should say. They're just out there spreading seed. The rear had a couple of recesses in it that could have hidden propulsion exhaust units, and a couple more in front that could house weapons.
Why can't the exhaust be in the front and the weapons be in the back?
I think you know why. Dark Lighter shivered. I don't know why, but he shivered. The nudge. Yeah, whatever. The X-Wings throttle forward. Catch, start recording this run. See?
Why didn't he start recording from the very beginning?
Well, let's also ask, why didn't they record the battle in the Haleska system?
Because they didn't have that technology back then. They created recording devices in those
2 weeks
3 weeks.
ago. It's only in simulations.
3 weeks.
We can only record simulations, not real life.
And why is it Ketch's job? Why can't the simulation record itself? Why does poor little Ketch have to do that?
Who knows, man?
He's got a limited memory, man. He's like an iPhone. He can't upgrade it.
Yep. Well, anyway, Dark Lighter pointed the X-Wing's nose on course that would cut behind the seed. Reaching up to his right, he flipped a switch that locked the S-foils into attack position. Oh, yeah, he said it. With a flick of his thumb.
He likes flicking his thumb a lot.
There's a lot of flicking. Sorry, I'm something else came to mind, and I'm not going to say. But anyway, with a flick of his thumb, he shifted his weapon controls, the lasers, and quadded them up. So all four would fire with a single squeeze of the stick's trigger. So he's locked and loaded. X-foils are in attack position. S-foils, I said X-foils. It's not even early. It's not even late. It's midday.
Technically, they should be X-foils. It's an X-wing.
Well, it's S-foils. Oh, you guys are loving. You guys, nobody's going to download this particular episode of the Contingency Plan Podcast.
I will.
Yeah, the seed shifted itself around, so its nose swung into line with his approaching vector. So it's not a space seed. What do you think it is?
I think it's a Digimon ship.
Yeah, get out of here, man. Just play that stupid theme song. I hated when you watched that show.
Well, that was an awesome theme song.
I really, that was...
Digimon, Digitalmon.
Nope. Terms of service.
Terms of service.
When you say something I don't like, terms of service. No, I was not a big... They're not talking about Star Wars again. Okay. Emperor's Black Bones.
Didn't you like that?
Oh, Emperor's Black Bones. Just a galactic swear. The seed jetted forward, swinging around to bring its nose to bear on the X-Wing. Gavin started to roll port and dive, but something shook his ship. In a heartbeat, Cat started screeching, and the X-Wing's forward shields collapsed. Something dull red blossomed on the seed's nose. He keeps calling it a seed.
It's still a seed. It's still a seed, guys.
Well, then it shot towards the X-Wing. It hit hard and splattered a bit. Then what appeared to be molten rocks started melting through the fighter's metal flesh. Warning sirens blared, drowning out Ketch's panicky tones. Bright red damage flags began to scroll up over the primary monitor. Okay.
The primary dairy monitor.
Red flag. Never mind. It's just the way I read it, I think. The one he could see reported a premature ignition. He had a premature ignition of a proton torpedo. Is that funny to you guys? Is that funny? It was pretty funny. So he had a premature ignition of a proton torpedo's
engine. And then he
engine,
exploded. Which
lit up the whole port magazine and tore the X-Wing apart.
Game over.
Dun, 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 dun. Game over.
No lives left.
He destroyed his ship. He had a premature ignition.
And they exploded.
He exploded. There could have been a better way to destroy this ship. I think Michael A. Stackpool was having too much fun when he read this book. Well, let's see who. A human orderly appeared at the edge of the cockpit. Colonel Darklighter, the Admiral, sends his compliments.
Gavin.
Darklighter blinked.
Gavin.
I'm not saying his name. It's illegal. Term service. His compliments, I lasted less than half a minute. So he lasted less. I can't say it. Wow, it's like
he lasted less than half a minute before he
prematurely ignited a proton torpedo
and exploded.
This isn't kid friendly. Oh, yes, Colonel. Very true. The Admiral said he would meet you in your office in an hour and explain why you are to be congratulated on doing so well. So he prematurely ignited in less than half a minute, and he's to be congratulated.
Right.
What a book. Darklighter's back in his desk, and then we get riveting backstory about the pictures on his desk, idly punched up holographic images on his holoprojector plate. Holoprojector plate. A plate that holoprojects. What?
Why does it need a plate to project?
Who knows? The first picture showed him and his two sons, orphan boys who had lived near the Rogue Squadron hangar after the Thrawn Crisis. Are you going to explain the Thrawn Crisis?
I think
series.
I think he wants to write a Thrawn book secretly.
Well, there's Thrawn books. The next showed the boys 2 years older, still smiling despite being all dressed up, standing with Gavin and his bride, Sierra Velour. What do you think? Sierra? It's not Sarah. It's Sera. Sierra Velour.
Sure.
Floor.
Sura. It's Sura.
Syrup.
Syrup.
Floor.
Syrup. Sura.
I don't know. Sir, I guess I don't know. You guys can comment. Tell us how bad we are at pronunciations. She'd been a social worker who had helped him through the adoption process for the boys. God, this is just riveting. 2 orphans coming together with Papa and the social worker who helped them. Nice little family.
Not little, not for long.
Well, the next image showed Sir and Darklighter with their first daughter. And after that came shots of them with their new son. And then another daughter. 1, 2, 4,
5.
5 children.
5.
Oh, an image made as a New Year's greeting card showed all 7 of them. Gavin easily remembered how happy they'd all been together prior to meeting Sarah. He'd pretty much resigned himself to never finding someone to love. But she'd been the balm to heal his broken heart. She'd not made him forget the past and the lover he'd lost. She just helped him recapture the joy of life and all of its possibilities.
And then he went and prematurely detonated.
I think we need like Fabio on the cover of this book, just hair in the wind, you know.
Daddy, can you tell me how I was born? Well, I prematurely.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop it. Well, I hope I'm not interrupting anything, Colonel. Gavin laughed. Oh, dang it, I said it.
Terms of service.
Drink. Looked up through the image of his family and shook his head. No, Admiral, not at all.
God, there's so much filler in this chapter.
Yeah, well, we have to get to know Darklighter. We have to get to know him.
I feel like he's going to die. I kind of hope he wants to. He's going to die.
Probably. Admiral, hey, what is his first name here? Traced? Admiral is T-R...
Traced or traced?
Traced, Traced.
It's Star Wars.
Traced,
Creefy.
Yeah. Creefy. Okay. Well, he bore a striking resemblance to the other members of the Creefy family Darklighter had seen. The late General Lauren, the Admiral's grandfather, and the Admiral's brother,
Karka.
Despite...
Karka Creefy.
Yeah, I'm not going to continue to talk about this, but I mean, it's essentially what was part of it like, what was his first name again? Traist or whatever we want to call him. His road to become an admiral was actually kind of different. You know, he made it, but he seemed to kind of infer a little bit here that it was kind of like not necessarily on the coattails, but he knew people.
Yeah.
You know,
it was kind of a cultural thing. It seemed like too.
An interesting story. I mean, to be honest, I've never really read into Bothans all that much. I just know a bunch of them died.
Yeah.
And
then they didn't get their own movie.
No, they didn't. Well, guess what? The Bothan smiled. Congratulations. I died in 15 seconds in my first engagement.
At least this was a cleaner version of that discussion.
Well, yeah, so Darklighter had been in there 25. He had 10 more seconds on the Bothan. Oh, if I weren't dead, I'm sure that would make me feel better. Darklighter frowned. Do we know what it is? Do they know? Oh, there it is. So, anyway, I lost my place. 2 days ago, this is super organized. 2 days ago, Leia Organa Solo spoke to the Senate and tried to warn them about an unknown alien force that had attacked several worlds on the Rim out beyond Dantooine. She didn't get a warm reception. She left data behind from which the simulation was created. So again,
so it was a recording.
Well, data. Okay. But anyway, so
that's why it looks like a seed.
Yeah, so this again was like a continuation of Leia coming into the Senate and trying to explain. They're not receptive.
Nope.
And Traist, I had to look at his name again. You know, he's one of the people that sort of secretly, because Borsk doesn't want this stuff to be handled in a correct manner.
Right.
But Traist, he's taking this kind of seriously, so it's good. Some of the military, or what are they? It's kind of Navy, isn't it? They call it sort of Navy. Anyway, some of the military here is taking this threat seriously, at least on a small scale. But Traist,
although Traist could lose his rank, doing this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He said, he's basically saying, we gotta kind of be careful about this. We can't necessarily like trod on the Senate, but we do find it enough to learn. They still have respect for Leia.
Yeah.
Unlike the politicians. Well, as they should, yes. Oh, let's see here. Okay, here we go. 21. And the princess brought this to the Senate's attention, and they didn't listen. Opposing forces have been gathering power to fight over the whole Jedi question. It's heated up because of the charge that a Jedi's rash action sparked the Romumu conflict, which, of course, we don't know was connected to this. They're making it is a correct connection, but not really scoped out very well. Speaking
of which, what happened to old Woofy?
Skitter? Yep. Skitter? Yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe we'll see him again. He's just that Jedi right now. But a number of powerful senators saw the princess story as an attempt to divert attention from the Jedi question. It didn't help that Jedi were key in defeating the invaders. Darklighter, well, he never had a problem with Jedi, and in fact counted one of them, Corran Horn, as a very good friend. That's sweet.
I've got one Jedi friend.
I know a Jedi. I know one. He's good. Oh, there were some high-handed Jedi, but Darklighter had seen those sort of ego cases among fighter pilots, which that's actually pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you ever watched Top Gun, Tom Cruise, man. I went to the danger zone.
Danger zone.
Is there any evidence that the invaders are still coming? Actually, no, but logic suggests that they will. I mean, come on.
Which there is very little of that in the Senate.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that a mile a minute and get nowhere. Let's see here. I want to jump ahead. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about on this particular page?
Not.
Oh well, let's get on this last little paragraph. We need more research to be certain, but it appears that they have creatures called Dovan Bastils that are part of the fighter itself. They manipulate gravity, which is how they were able to soak off. They were able to soak off our shots and rip down our shields. We think that boosting the sphere of the inertial compensator can actually prevent shields from being taken down. Can you believe that?
Inertial compensator, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what that is.
So, I mean, I also watched a lot of Star Trek growing up because a lot of the series were coming out when I was growing up. The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine. I didn't really like Voyager, but whatever. They made up so many words.
Oh, I'm sure. Star Wars isn't really all that bad about that. A little bit in the book.
They do have some of it, but yeah, I mean, Star Wars was always a lot more straightforward, a lot less intellectual, a lot more kick butt. Yeah.
Well, keep in mind half their guns were based off actual guns in the movies.
That's very true.
It's not like they recreated everything.
Yep, but continuing on here, I also think that cycling more low-power shots through the lasers will force the skip to expend a lot of energy, creating those black hole shields. Wow, I'm making up words. As long as it worried about catching shots, its maneuvering ability is degraded. Those strategies are hypothetical, however, and can really only be tested in combat.
All right, well, we're going to skip past that. What do you think about that? You think that's a valid point? You think that would work?
Well, I mean, one of the problems that they have here is that, as with anything, they don't... were they able to capture a ship?
Coral Skipper.
Were they actually able to... I don't remember. Did they actually capture one? Because I know that they had a couple of dead Yuuzhan Vong. Oh, they had...
Jason drove one.
Jason
drove one.
Okay, so the thing is, what they need to do is actually like test it live, and that's the thing, because like the Yuuzhan Vong's technology is so alien from anything we've encountered before, and a simulation can only take you so far.
Right.
So eventually they have to test it. Do I think this could work? Who knows? We'll have to see.
And you're talking about testing a living creature. It's going to be a little different, as you said.
Potentially, yeah.
Catching a dead one.
For sure. Well, Darklighter, I can have the squadron simming against these things. Then you can point us at them in the rim, and we'll try it. I knew you'd be game for that, which I appreciate. We have another problem before that, though. Oh, man. Because of the way Princess Leia was dismissed, any action that even hints that she might have been right is frowned upon. Though my command is out in the rim right now, I can't order up sweeps of any of the battle sites. I'm not allowed to help others look. Nothing. It's political suicide to act as if her report has any credence to it. New Republic already brimming with confidence for it. Yeah, but it isn't real suicide to assume it doesn't, or isn't it real suicide to assume it doesn't? Given that Chick-fil-A, now leads the New Republic, this can't be easy for you, but to ignore. Trieste held up a hand to forestall Darklighter's comment. Colonel, because of my grandfather's failure. Borlaeus? Aurora Borealis. My family's power waned around the time I entered the Bothan Military Martial Academy system. I went to the one. People have got to be like just pulling their hair out by now. I went to one of the smaller satellite schools, and I had an instructor there who pointed out certain flaws in the way Bothan society functions. This was kind of interesting.
It was.
I would hope you've seen enough of me through the years to know that being of a newer, younger generation, the Pepsi generation, I'm not one to follow exactly what my superiors think I should do. For example, if they knew I'd run you through that sim, I'd be busted down to flight officer and have to work myself back up to flag rank again. Can you believe that crap? So just running another person through a simulation, he could be busted down. Like, they hate Leia right now.
Yeah.
And she needs to get a lightsaber and just kill them all. Kill them all!
But she doesn't like Force techniques. Or maybe that's just when it's to calm herself.
Yeah, well, gotta focus.
Could she be our new Darth?
No.
Kill them all?
No.
Just as her father had?
You're crazy. Anyway, let's just wrap this up because there's only a few more sentences. But I hope for all of our sakes you don't. Don't what? So essentially, like, Dark Lighter wants to get out there in the rim. And basically, you know, and if we happen to run across a force of skips while we're out there, I hope for our sakes we don't. But if you do, we'll take them apart and give them Senate evidence it will never be able to dismiss. End of chapter. How'd you like that one?
Oh, it really wasn't as bad as what I talked earlier. I mean,
well,
it's a good chapter.
Premature ignition aside, and 25-second explosions probably helped you out there.
And 15-second explosions.
That's very true. Bothans only last 15 seconds in simulations. Yeah, I mean, it was, excuse me, it was interesting. Filler, obviously, you had your story of Dark Lighter's dark past. Obviously, you know, you kind of get the inference that everyone's...
Start calling him Emo Torch.
Everyone's
Dark
dead.
Lighter. It's just going to be Emo Torch.
Do you think his kids and his wife are alive?
Yes, I do, because they reference a happier time before it all went bad.
Which is them all dying.
Exactly.
Who knows? We'll see. And we have a new
detonation.
Yeah. We have a new Bothan, which was kind of neat.
Yeah.
He's a part of the new generation.
He's a trendy Bothan. He's hip and cool.
He doesn't listen to his superiors.
He's with it.
But, I mean, it's good, though, because obviously the Senate wasn't taking Leia seriously. And now, you know, she has an ally. And I don't think she knows it right now, but, I mean, this could be big. And obviously Rogue Squadron's always kind of been, you know, just they do what they want to do anyway. Rogue. So, yeah, I mean, it was an okay chapter, a little short, filler, backstory. But that'll happen. So
it's early in the book. We're going to have plenty of those.
I would assume so. So, yeah, next week we're going to be taking a look at Chapter 3. We'll make up a name for it at the time. Yep. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Chapter 2, Training Day. And I think we ought to probably rename it to Premature Ignition.
Yeah.
Chapter 2, Premature Ignition.
On Training Day.
25-second Premature Ignition. What?
Premature ignition and subsequent explosion.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, there you go. Well, anyway, folks, I do hope that you enjoyed it. I mean, I was obviously a little loopy today for some reason. I needed
Sunday.
You know, either caffeine, which doesn't really do anything, or just something to eat, which is what we're going to do probably after this. Or you
probably need food, a 4-hour nap, and then football, and then bed.
I don't really even care about the Super Bowl. My team's not in it. I'm just watching it for potential for trailer drop if there has, and to see Tom Brady cry. We're still here. We're still here.
They're still not talking about Star Wars. Oh, my God.
Stop it. No. I mean, that I understand why that guy, you know, made the comment. Sometimes there are times when I've watched videos, it's like, just get on with it. But guess what? There is an amazing invention out there called the fast forward button.
Or the 1.5 times playback speed.
I hate that. I hate doing it.
No, that's 2 times. 1.5 is very bearable depending on who you listen to.
I like to slow it down.
Make this a 2-hour podcast in about 10 minutes of it be still.
There you go. Well, anyway, folks, we definitely appreciate you dropping by for another episode here. Again, you know, follow along with us. Make sure you hit up Facebook. Give us a
Messenger.
like. Let us know how bad this particular episode was, and leave those negative comments on YouTube. Give us a 5-star review on all the other platforms because we're so good.
Actually, just give the negative reviews on Facebook Messenger. Don't affect any of our scores.
He just needs to hear your voices.
Just tell me how terrible I am.
This is turning into an emo podcast real quick. But anyway, folks, we appreciate you stopping by. We're going to go eat.
As always, may the Force